Hey everyone, how are you doing? Come on in. Happy 4th of July. Today is July 4th, 2025, and it's great to see everybody. Hope you're having a good day, and we're going to make a pillow today. So, not sure how this is going to all shake out, but I have some fabric. I have these patterns. They're from, I have a whole bunch of them. Let me think, where's the package? Well, Martelli, hold on. Well, oh, here it is right here behind me a sec. I know I just had it. So let me pull it up. This is a package of 3 stars, and as you can see, it's half a star. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put the middle of this star on some folded fabric. We're going to fold an edge, and then we're going to cut what's called on the fold. All right, so there's a 15, is this 15? Yeah, 15-inch star, a 12.5-inch tall star, and a 10-inch star. And today I think I'm only going to use the 15-inch stars. And so what we have to do here is we have to take our fabric, okay? This is just some blue and white, kind of heavy, it's kind of a heavyweight fabric. Hey Carl, how are you? Come on in. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to double fold it because I need a front and a back on this. I'm going to move this clip down. This tells me how much I paid for it. So that like if I were making a quilt or something like that, I would know what to charge or how much material is put into it. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to take and I'm going to fold this over. Hopefully I've got a clean fold. And let's see what we got here. I want to make sure that the stars are kind of straight. I don't know if it's going to matter. I have not used this pattern before. All right, so this looks good. So what we have done is I've got 2 layers here, and that's going to give me a front and a back. And so I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on the fold, making sure that it's on the fold really well. And now I'm going to take a, let's see how I want to do this. I really need it to go the other direction. But anyway, I'm going to give it a shot. They're like little slits in here. And all right, I do not want to cross over my hands because if this thing slips, it's not going to be pretty. Don't feel like it's going. It doesn't feel like it's cutting. Hang on a minute. All right, hold on, because I don't want this thing to slip on me. Why is it not cutting? I didn't have any problem with it going through that first side. All right, I'm going to have to stand up, I think, y'all. So hang on, because I do not want to cut across my wrist. Not a good idea. All right, so here I go. So let me see. All right, I got this side done. And I think what I want to do is I am going to go ahead and I am going to cut this across. I wonder if it's... All right, do I have another one of these cutters? Did not need this. All right, hang on. Let's see if I can turn it this way. need a new blade. Oh, sugarfoot. All right, here we go. I got another blade here. All right, let's see what we got here. What in the world? Maybe it's just too thick. Wow. Never had it do this before. Well, well, well. All right, let's see what we got. All right, y'all hold on a minute because I'm going to have to go and get another blade. Hang on, I got to go to the back of the house, so hold that thought. All right, I'm back. I'm coming back. All right, I'm gonna try and I'm gonna put this one away. I'm gonna try this blade here, and if it doesn't work, there we go. I was going to say, if it doesn't work, I'm going to put a new blade in and sharpen it. Some thick fabric. So what I'm doing right now is just cutting this so that I can work with this better. Get a pair of scissors. Grab a pair of scissors and just cut this. I won't be able to cut around the template, so I'm going to have, all right, let me get this out of the way. And we will see what's going to happen. I may have to do a plan B. Won't be the first time that I've had to do a plan B. All right, so this way I can turn this. I'm going to turn this and see if I can make sure that I'm in the screen here. All right, so I am going to take, oh, this is so tricky. All right, hang on, let me go backwards. just so, this fabric is so tough. All right, so I may have to go with a plan B here, y'all. Let me see. Should have tried this. All right, let's go this way. All right, let me put a new blade on here and see if that makes a difference. Most of my blades are sharp, but we're gonna see. Take that one off. This one on. Take this little guy out. Try not to cut myself. Alright, this one here, this through here, that through there. Make sure I did that right. All right, let's see if it's the fabric, y'all, or if it is the blade. If this doesn't go through here, then it tells me, oops, I got it backwards. Did I? No. Seems like I got it backwards. There we go. There we go. Just needed a new blade. All right, so I'm going to turn this around. Pull this back. I may have to trim these up a little bit. What I don't want to do is for this thing to slip. I think it's the fabric. I got one more idea. Hold that idea. I'm gonna go get a All right, let me come in here and see if what I need is to put this on a cutting mat. I'm supposed to be able to cut on this glass. All right, let me lift this up. And see if that's gonna make a difference. All right, let's try this, y'all. See if this is gonna make a difference. No, it's just, this fabric is just so thick. got that. Hold on. Come in here with my scissors. Okay, and we're going to turn this around. All right, this side here is cut. We're going to take and don't know why this is so. Wow. All right, I got an idea. Hang on. I'm going to come in here, cut this off. I thought that this was going to be some good thick fabric to work with, but I think it's too thick to work with. All right, I'm going to come in here with my scissors and just kind of eyeball this. I got all of that. I think it's just too thick to do what I want to do. All right, we're going to come in here, we're going to cut that, come in here, cut that, and we've got one more side to cut. I'm going to put this back on here. Whew, it's a workout. All right, I don't think it's going to matter because we're going to cut them both the same from top to bottom. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of take and I'm going to just mark this. Just going to mark it. And now I'm going to come in and cut on these lines. All right. Wow. Who do I got with me? Who's still with me? Sorry about that. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up and we should have, ta-da, there we go. We should have 2 stars. That was a lot of work. All right, well, moral of that story is don't try and cut both of them at the same time. But the good news is that because I cut both of them at the same time, even if I mess up, I'm going to mess up the same on both of them. All right, so I'm going to put this back in the bag. These are Martelli patterns. And they have like a sticky stuff on the back of them, and it makes it so that you can hold that down and it won't slip while you're trying to use your rotary cutter around it. But, wow, okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and I can trim this up afterwards. Let's see, some of this looks like it could be trimmed now. I'm going to kind of line this up, and what I want to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to do a little bit of glue gun. I'm going to just glue it. Now, normally what I would do is I would put right sides together. Sorry about that, y'all. I really thought, had no idea that that was not going to go through there. All right, let's see here. I did this wrong. That could have something to do with it too. All right, hang on a minute. I'm going to fix this. I don't know if that really would have made a difference because this fabric is a lot heavier than I thought. But what I want to do is I want to come in here and see if I can trim this up just a little bit. don't know why this is not, never had this problem. All right, well, doesn't want to really roll. All right, I'm just gonna put that away and go with the scissors, y'all. I'm gonna come in here and trim this a little bit. Well, it was a good thought. Let's see if we can finish it out. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, I've got a small glue gun, and we're gonna go around the edges and we're gonna just glue this together. Let me get this board out of the way because I don't want to get a glue gun on it, because the glue comes off the glass easier than it comes off of the... All right, so here we go. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift this up. And I have to make sure that I leave a, like a little bit, like I leave a hole so that I can stuff it. I'm gonna come around here and I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna come around this corner and then come all the way down. And I'm going to drop this down and we're going to just glue this together. And then I'll come back and trim it afterwards. All right, then we're going to turn the corner and we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to come down. And if you sew, you can do right sides together. There we go. We're going to drop that down. And we're going to go all the way around until we get to the beginning. We're going to leave one of these open, so I'm going to pull that back. And again, we're going to come in here. Drop this down. And once it's glued together, it'll be easier to trim. All right, we're going to turn this. We're going to lift this guy up. It's just pretty easy, just going along the edge. Drop it down. So now you see why I wanted to make sure that I had everything cut at the same time. All right, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to trim this off a little bit. Just kind of go along the edges. Give these little pieces of fabric. And then I think what I want to do is I want to go around the edges and all right, we're going to stuff this, okay? These are going to be like throw pillows on a sofa. And my idea is to take some red ribbon and kind of, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm thinking some red ribbon to go along the edges of this. So this is what my thinking is, y'all. Bring in a little bit of red. I'm not quite sure how. Thinking we'll go around here. And I think I want to have a little bit of excess. And then we'll come here and we'll turn this. Not sure how this is going to work, but I definitely want the red on there. All right, so I can't. I've got to stuff it. Now the question is, I got a lot going through my mind right now. The question is, do we want to put something on here that says Happy 4th of July? Maybe, I think if we do, we want it to go this way. All right, I think I want to do that in red. So let's see what we got here. Get some red ink. Actually, I think this one is open. Let's get some red ink. And we're going to do this first, or next. I think I want to put this on here. So let's see how it looks. At this stage of the game, it doesn't make any, hey Lisa, this stage of the game, it doesn't matter what I do, because we've had lots of turns and corners. And, all right, I'm not going to, do I want to put the eagle on here? All right, if I do, I'm going to put this like this. And then that way, when you stand the pillows up on the sofa, we will be able to see what's there. All right, so we're going to put this on here. This is a Chalk Couture stencil. And I think I'm going to just go... let me bring it down just a little bit. I want to make sure that this is, actually I need to bring it up. Okay. I'm going to put this on here. And let me get my squeegee going here. Now this is ink that I'm putting on here. I want to get this on here before I start stuffing it, because once I start stuffing it, I won't have a nice flat surface. You just want to make sure that you get good coverage. Turn this around. I like to turn my squeegee around and go from the edge of the design into the middle of the design so that I don't go off of the stencil and onto my surface that I'm stenciling. Okay, so I intentionally, you'll see me, if you pay attention, you'll see me get to the edge and bring the ink or the paste, whichever one I'm working with at the time, into the center of the design. And I'm doing that intentionally. Not going off that way, but coming inside where the design is. Okay. Make sure I've got it all covered. It looks like I do. All right, now we're going to lift this up. Put this in our water. Okay, here we go, y'all. We're going to lift this up, making sure that I've got, oh yeah. That's going to be good. Good, good, good. All right, let me get this in the water. Turn that on. Get a paper towel. And we're going to dry this, and then we're going to heat set it. I'm turning around so y'all can see. One side will have the, hey Michelle, how are you? One side will have the silk screening on it, and the other side won't. So we can choose which side we want to work with our pillow. Not quite sure. I want to put some red ribbon along the edges, but I'm not quite sure how I'm going to make that happen. So I'm still kind of thinking about this. All right, put that over there, and now what we're going to do is we're going to come in with a piece of parchment paper somewhere. All right, I'm going to use this piece here. And we're going to take and we're going to heat set this for 30 seconds. And I'm only going to do one side of this because I can't turn it inside out. Normally, I would do 305 degrees at for 30 seconds on the inside and the outside, but I could have done this before I started. Probably would have been good right before I glued everything together. But we're learning, right? We're learning. There we go. Put that over there. Ooh. All that hot glue that was in there. All right, let's see what we got. Now, the question is, the question of the hour, and I don't see how I'm going to be able to wrap this. So I still want to get red, so I'm going to look in here. Don't think I have enough of that or enough of that. Well, bummer. I know what I can do. Hang on. Let's grab some of this. And I can probably put this on here after. This is some gold. I can probably take and put this on the edge after we stuff it. So let's stuff it. We'll see what happens. All right, where is my side that is not? All right, here we go, y'all. We're gonna open this guy up. And I'm going to get a sharp or a thin, long. All right, this looks good. This is a good poker. We're going to take and we're going to stick this in here. And we're going to push it up into the tips of the star. Just doing a little bit at a time. You don't want to do it in big globs, or it gets real clumpy looking. So we're going to just kind of push this up in here. Any of y'all sew? Yeah, my grandmother, every time I stuff something, I think of her because she's made, there wasn't anything she couldn't make. I asked her when she was still alive, you know, how old was she when she started sewing, and she told me that she never remembered not sewing. It looks like I missed that spot, so I'm gonna have to go back and glue that down. Let's close this up while we're in here. Okay. Grab some more of this. And we're just going to do a little bit up into the tips, then we will. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go for gold. we'll put the gold on the edges. I really wanted red, but I don't have enough of the red to make that happen, y'all. And this particular pattern has three, oh, I missed that one too, has 3 different size stars to it. This is the first time I've actually used it. All right, here we go. Just gonna hold that down. Well, I kind of like missed this whole side. I think it dried before I could get to it, is what happened. Ooh, it's hot. And like I said, actually the optimal, in my opinion, the optimal way of doing this would be to sew it with right sides together. I think it's going to be cute once we get it done, if we can get through all the troubleshooting. All right, let's see, where is the opening? Here's the opening. You've got to make sure that you keep one side open, or you're never going to be able to stuff it. You're just going to have a flat star. Now, you could use this pattern if you wanted to make like a wood cutout or something like that. All you have to do is, I would put it on a piece of paper, a folded edge, and get yourself a paper pattern, and then you could put it on wood and cut it out. All right, here we go, y'all. Coming up in here. Just kind of stuffing it up into the, as tight as I can, into the corners. Taking my paintbrush, different use for a paintbrush. Is that one closed? Let's see. I guess it is. And you can just use some polyfill. I'm using Martelli's stuffing. Is called Fluffy Stuff. It has a little bit, it's a little bit nicer than the polyfill. I made a, you know, one of those airplane pillows. I made one for our son who travels a lot, and then he liked it so much that I made one for me when I go to visit him. He's on the West Coast. All right, here we go. Just continuing to stuff it. Few hurdles we had to jump, but it looks like it's going to be worth it, because I think this is turning out pretty neat, y'all. I do like this fabric. I have like tons and tons and tons of fabric, and I wasn't quite sure. Uh-oh, I just poked that one through. Let me back that up. And let's put another bead of glue in here. Try and hold this down. The glue will come off of this glass, so I'm not worried about that. I just didn't want it to get on that mat, because it doesn't come off of those plastic mats very well. All right, let's see if this is going to hold. I'll tell you what, the glue gun and the fluffy stuff are not necessarily partners, because you get the glue on your hands and then the fluffy stuff sticks to your fingers. Yeah, all right, here we go. See if this is tight all the way through. So I was thinking that it would be cute to have, you know, these stars in the 3 different sizes that the pattern comes in. All right, let's see if that's gonna stick. Getting better, getting better. We need to go across the way, so we're going to go across here. All right, here we go, y'all. Once we get the other sides done, then I'm going to do one side of the star and then put a little bit of a hole in it. And I'm going to back up. Okay. And then we'll back our way out. We want them to be kind of stiff so that they'll be pointy. Just kind of stuffing it up in there. Stuff this side. Now something like this, I always think in terms of gifts because I like to give gifts. Something like this would be a cute gift for someone that has like a July birthday, especially if they're born around the 4th. Bring this back out. Takes more than you think it's going to take, that's for sure. We're getting there. My heat press talking to me saying you haven't used me in a while, so I'm getting ready to shut down, which is perfectly okay because I'm not going to use it anymore. All right, here we go, y'all. Now we're going for the middle. Let's kind of incorporate all of this stuff in here so that it looks uniform. All right. So I think what I'm going to do, all right, let me go ahead and I want to make sure that, hey Berta, how are you? We're making a star, stuffing a star. A little bit of a slow start, but I think we're off and running now. All right, so now what I want to do, let me see how I want to do this. I want to come in here and I want to do the tip. And we're going to press that down. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to come in here and I want to do this corner where the where this meets. I want to leave a little bit of a hole open so that I can still stuff it. But this side I'm going to close all together. Okay. And then I want to come in here on this side over here, and I want to close this hole. Not completely, but just enough. Silicone tool. All right, I think I got to get a smaller hole here, so I got to get this a little bit smaller before I can start stuffing this. All right, y'all. I think we're almost done. All right, here we go. So we're going to get some more of this polyfill or fluffy stuff. And we're going to start filling in this hole. Now I've got a little bitty space to push this in. That's okay. I want to push some down into the tip. It's not real exciting to watch this being done, but it is necessary. We're gonna make a pillow out of it. All right, so there we have that. And I got just a small hole now that I'm gonna start filling things in. Almost done. Glad I ended up doing the bigger of the 3 stars because it wouldn't have been, the other 2 would not have been big enough to put the Happy 4th of July on it. I mean, you wouldn't think that this little bitty star would take up as much of this stuff as it does. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there, y'all. get to the point where we're going to put some ribbon or some decorative stuff around the edges of this. All right, let me see here. Just a little bit more. It's so funny when our son, who is now in his 30s, when he was, gosh, he was about 2 years old, and I was making a pillow for something. I don't remember what I was making it for, but he was like, Mom, I want a pillow. Maybe he was 3, 2.5, 3, something like that. All right, so this is what we have. I got to just kind of clean this up a little bit. And he said, Mom, will you make me a pillow? I think he was 2. And anyway, I made him this little pillow about this big, and he put and I stuffed it. I was a first-time mom. I didn't think he could tell the difference. And he goes, Mom, how am I supposed to put my head on this? I thought, there's no fooling you. And I said, well, hang on a minute. I made him another one that he could put his head on, and it was kind of funny. I was young, and I thought that he wouldn't know the difference, but I guess he had intentions of actually using that pillow and wanted to know how he was supposed to use that thing. All right, so see how we've got the stars on one side. If you don't want the Happy 4th of July, which is kind of hard to read there because it's backwards and it's red against the blue, but when you get close up, you can see it. All right, here we go, y'all. Almost. I keep saying almost, and then it's like it still has room for more of this stuff. All right, let's see what we got. Is that gonna, I need a little bit more. A little bit more. All right, I think that's gonna do it, y'all. Actually, this up here looks like it can use a little bit more on that part of the star. Kind of stuffing it up in there. Yep, that's better. All right, so now I need more. Pull more of this out. It takes more than you think it's going to take. All right, here we go. And you can make this as soft of a pillow or as firm of a pillow as you want it to be. Yeah, my grandmother, she made my mother's wedding dress when my mom got married. And she offered to make mine, but I didn't really know the extent of her ability to sew when I got married. And I surely wasn't going to find out with my wedding dress. And anyway, she ended up doing my hat. She put beads and pearl-like beads and everything on it. And it turned out really pretty. I was pretty impressed. And she made a coat for my mom when my mom was a little girl. It was a Christmas present. And my mom had snuck into the present. I think she opened it or something like that. And they were poor because it was back in the 30s. And it ended up being the only present that my mom got for Christmas that year. And she never, from that day forward, snuck into any of her Christmas presents because she liked the surprise. And but come to find out, my grandmother had put a pair of socks in the pocket of the coat. So the only surprise she had was the socks. But she wasn't, and I never snuck and looked at my Christmas presents either, because I like surprises. My mom told me that story, and that was enough for me. I've always been able to learn from other people's mistakes. I don't have to make them myself. All right, this is looking a lot better, y'all. All right, let me get just a little bit more in here. Kind of stiffen up this tip of the star. All right, this is it. Here we go. We're gonna close this puppy up. Oops, maybe. My son from the West Coast called me last night. Of all nights, I went to bed early, and he called me. We talked for over an hour, about an hour and a half, I think. It's so good to catch up with him because he stays pretty busy. All right, I'm just gonna have to trim that. I think that's gonna be the best way to do that. Okay, y'all. All right. Oh, my hip. All right, let me get a pair of scissors, and we're gonna trim this up. Make sure this is nice and closed. Oh, it's not. Still gonna trim that. All right, I'm gonna trim that. And is anybody going to see fireworks tonight? I am not. My firework days are kind of behind me. All right, here we go. Let me close this. I have like a ouch, 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 ouch. Let's see how I want to do this. Got a little bit of glue on the outside here. Oh, did not want to do that. Let's see if I can get this. It's sticking to my fingers. Hey, Pat, how are you? Oh, y'all, this is like crazy. This has been a crazy craft here. Totally crazy. All right, let's try this again. Close this little hole here. Oh, here we go. Let me hold these little spatulas on this. I've got some silicone sticks or whatever they're called, but I don't know where they are. I'm going to just take these little plastic sticks and see what I can do with this. I'm going to make sure it's completely dry this time before. All right, let me get this stuff out of the way so y'all can see. I do like this. I like this better than the polyfill. It's called Fluffy Stuff. Fluffy Stuff. You can take a screenshot of it, put it in the mirror if you want. Oh, here's some more. I like the way that it feels better than polyfill. I don't know what the difference is, but I do like it better. All right, let me throw that away. Let's see what we got. See if I can trim this. All right, so I think the last thing that I want to do is, of want to put, of course I want to put some bling on here, right y'all? Is I want to take and I want to run this around the edge. Let me see where it is. I'm going to just, I think I just want to do one strand. So I'm going to come in here and we're going to cut this. It's going to take quite a bit of it. I'm just going to keep cutting for quite a while because I wanted to put red pom-poms on it to match the red ink that I put on it, but I didn't have enough of it. All right, here we go. Let's see how much we're going to use with this. I think we're going to need a lot more, but I got another idea. Instead of doing one strand all the way up, I think I might break this up. All right, I got to get this off my fingers. Go away. All right, here we go, y'all. Gonna take and put this up. Got another hole. Hang on. Cover up that hole. All right, so we're going to put this, I think the way to do this, all right, I'm going to start this right in here. Come down and add just a little bit of bling to this. And I'm going to cut it off. And then we're going to come up here, and I think the better way to do this is to do it from the inside down to the tip. So let me put another bead on here. This. And then here we go. Another. Coming down. And we're going to take this and just kind of dab it into the glue. It's kind of giving it some dimension now. And I'll trim those pieces up where you see all the fluffy stuff. All right, I'm liking this, y'all. I'm liking it. All right, let me put this, I'm gonna need another one of these. Coming down. I used my my small glue gun today because I thought that, and I'm glad I did, because I thought that it was going to be some small kind of intricate stuff. All right, can y'all see what I'm doing so far? Can you see the different? Hang on, let me pull my chair up so I can get closer. And, oh, my leg's giving me a fit today. All right, hang on. There we go. All right, let me bring y'all in a little bit so you can see a little bit more of what I'm doing. All right, so this is what you can see. And all this stuff is going to be cleaned up. But you see how we've got that? This is the unfinished side. This is the finished side. And so I'm going to go ahead and let's see if I can get my face in here. Thanks for the heart, Jill. All right, so again, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut some more of this. Let me come in here. Cut this apart. This is just Robert Stanley's collection from Hobby Lobby. I think Totally Dazzled has something similar to this. I have actually both of them, but the Hobby Lobby stuff was kind of right here. All right, so same thing. I'm going to just hook those together. Where did my glue gun go? All right, here we go. So we're going to just come in here. Didn't quite get that into the corner, but it's going to be all right. Just making sure that I get that in the glue. Cut it. Go ahead and get that tip. All right, same thing on this side, but looks like I need to cut some more. So I'm going to try and cut these so that they all end up about the same length. I think we got, make sure I got that long enough, and I do. Okay, so we're going to come in here. This side doesn't look, this is the side that was the last side. I'll be honest with y'all, I don't think it looks as good as the other sides because the glue kept sticking to my fingers. All right, here we go. So I'm going to stick this on here, but I'm going to kind of try and cover up some of that raw edge that's showing. And I'm only going to put the bling on one side. A couple of reasons. One main reason is so that if you want to turn it over, I don't know if anybody's really going to want to use this for a pillow, but if you wanted to, you could turn it over on the other side and you wouldn't have all the bling in your way. All right, here we go. Get another one, come right in here. I've been, I don't know if the word is hungry or, I don't know what the word is, but I've been wanting to work with fabric. So I thought, well, you know, I'm going to do something with fabric today. This is going on pretty easily. And it actually looks pretty good once we get it on there. All right, hang on. We're going to separate these. Seth's in there laughing. He's playing online games with some of his friends. Everybody's off work today. All right, let's see. I think I want to do that there. All right, here we go, y'all. Kind of taking it all the way down. Almost done. We got this side and two more. Okay. This one looks like it needs a little tiny. Put the little glue this on here. Hey, honey, how are you? Happy 4th of July. All right, so let me get this side over here. And we're going to come right on down this side. Our son works in the nighttime, so his morning is everybody's afternoons. There we go. Wow. This turned out better than I thought it would. It kind of happens to me a lot. There for a while, if y'all go back and watch the replay, there for a while it didn't look like I was going to get anything made today because I couldn't get the fabric cut. The rotary cutter wasn't cutting through the fabric. It was a mess. There's a lot of blank time on the screen. All right, here we go. This is going to be just about exactly enough. All right, here we go, y'all. Wow. All right, let me move that out of the way. Oh, I like it. Turned out pretty spiffy, huh? All right, let me get this off my fingers and then I'll hold it up to the camera. Got a little bit of glue right here that I'll probably have to put like a piece of Totally Dazzled or something on it. All right, let me bring y'all in. Thanks, Berta. I'll let them know. They're Seth's hanging out with his friends right now. All right, so here we go, y'all. See how I put I got glue strings everywhere, but let me show you, like right here, I got like a big old glob of glue right there. And so what I will probably do is put like a piece of Totally Dazzled there to cover it up. And I don't know what I'm gonna do about this part here. It's looking kind of, all right, so I don't know if you can read that or not. It's kind of hard. You can see it when you look at it in person, but it doesn't transfer on the camera very well. But, and if you notice, pay close attention, I made it so that the stars have the feet. You know, when you look at the American flag, it's like the stars have feet, okay? And this is the head. So you want to make sure that when you're doing anything with the American flag, that, and you know what? I accidentally, or I guess it goes either way. But when you look at the American flag, the 2 points are down and the 1 point is up, and then you got one to the left and the right. All right, y'all. It took a lot longer than I thought it was, but I think it turned out pretty cute. So I'm going to throw this on my sofa because I have a burgundy and navy blue sofa in the den, and it'll give us a little decoration for today. Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. I speak freedom over all of y'all in the name of Jesus, and pray that you have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me. Thanks, Berta. I love you, and Jesus loves you more. Happy 4th of July, y'all. Bye-bye.